Today we'll have a quick and short video just giving you what's happened this week. Tons of tweets, hypes on the market. Plus on today, MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor, CEO of the company, is sharing its playbook throughout institutions and companies. So watch out, especially now that Ethereum is breaking. We'll also try to check the chart analysis and let's give what will be the possible targets even on Bitcoin, including the DXY or the dollar index that might affect the movement of the market.
This is Healthy Minds giving you bites and pieces of crypto news.
Checking on the hour chart today, we could clearly see now that the 2018 bull market cryptocurrencies, Ethereum, it able already to broke the 1,440, and now we are reaching the 1,500 plus. The highest was 1,571 here in Binance. Here, what we're expecting, just like what we discussed last time, that once we top this and we attempt this breaking this all-time high, we are expecting a pullback, and that's what happened.
Ethereum, just like what we mentioned about on my previous blog, you could actually check our estimate and hype. I mentioned here that the strong support at 1,000 level, if it breaks the 1.2, is the 900 and 1,000. And as you can see here, currently we are holding the 1,000 level. I actually bought another piece up here, expecting that this will have another bounce. So I'm currently watching the market and see if it breaks. If not, then this ABC downward might actually have another continuation. So it might actually go down to 900 level. And if it breaks, it might even go down to 800, 700. Is a bit strong contender. But right now, this is what the market's giving us. Take closely look on this 1,200, 1,300 resistance. If it breaks, then there's a big possibility that we will try to test again the 1,440 all-time high before it breaks continuously to our target that I showed you before on our blog. Here I mentioned the target of 1,600, 1,800 for the first TP.
We did some testing on the 1,100, 1,000 support. Then we tried to attempt again for the second time. We actually failed. And finally, this time, after third time of failing, we are now breaking long time resistance. So from here, what we are expecting is possible tests of the previous resistance now might act as support before we continue pushing up to 1,800 and or 2,000 range, and as our first target. And then on the second target, we might even extend up to 2,300, 2,400. That will double the price of Ethereum. Try to check our previous blog. Also, you might try to check our estimate where we post our Ethereum versus BTC, where we saw the inverse head and shoulder pattern. But right now, it seems that the market is so strong. On top of that is the MicroStrategy's seminar. So today, what's going on is Michael Saylor is actually discussing the MicroStrategy on Bitcoin. This is how bullish is the market. So expect in few days and few weeks that tons of, it says here that Bitcoin for corporations, MicroStrategy is the first publicly traded company to invest significant treasures assets in Bitcoin. At World Now, you will hear from MicroStrategy's chairman and CEO Michael Saylor, as well as the slate of BTC industry luminaries as they discuss this groundbreaking treasury reserve strategy. So basically what's happening here is they'll be sharing the corporate playbook of MicroStrategy to different institutions and corporations that are interested also in entering the market. Besides that, they invited other platforms, CEOs like Kraken, Coinbase, that will be able to show on how this corporation be able to utilize and navigate the market. So with that, you will see tons of possible buying behind the scene and over the table OTC through Bitcoin. Institution might also declare and be publicly announce their intention. And as we know, miners nowadays are taking profit. That's why somehow Bitcoin is running in a sideway. And as we discussed also on my previous blog that I wrote down in the Steemit and in Hive, that when Bitcoin is on the sideway action, expect that alts will be bullish. And as we can see, altcoins like ADA, XRP, even EW, Celsius, Voyager, Theta are actually making their own way. Although some of these coins like Dodge and XRP was pumped lately by celebrities, it's expected in this kind of bull market. But of course, we don't want to FOMO. That's why we are building this channel and making it stronger for the community to be aware on how we should navigate the market. And speaking of that, let me share this page that we have here. As you can see, our Healthy Minds FB page. I was able to share this chart where you will be able to see the cycle of the market. As we know, every 4 years there's halving, where previously you have a 12.5 Bitcoin that you could mine, but after this latest halving, you could only mine 6.25 per blocks if you are a miner. So as you can see, the inflation rate of Bitcoin is actually being cut into half. That's why it's so important for us to know the cycle and how we could actually navigate this market. Basically, we are able to identify that there are cycle and series in each halving. We are actually have the bull market followed by the bear market. We also have then the accumulation and the expansion before we will start again the accumulation in preparation to the bull market. So overall, there are 5 series or levels before we actually enter the bull market. And based on this chart here that we are sharing, we already entered the bull market. And initially, according to institutions, they already gave their predictions that Bitcoin might reach 100,000, even 400,000. So with that, expect that 2021 will be a great year, but still you need to plan, you need to take profit on every series, and instead of buying one time, you could actually do the cost averaging if you are an investor. But of course, if you are a trader, that will be a different strategy. You could do scalping as lower as minutes, or you could do position trading, which might take weeks depending on your target. What we are trying to show here is for you to have the idea on how you should accumulate and when you should take profit in this type of market. That will definitely help you in planning. Checking the market right now, as you can see, we are still above the 1.1 trillion here in CoinGecko. And Bitcoin, as we can see, the last 7 days, we are up by 11.1%. Now we are playing at 36,255, followed by Ethereum. We're currently up by 13.9. And we are now at the 1,545. Let's see if this will continue to our first target at 1,800. Followed by Polkadot, now on the 4th, beating XRP on the 5th. But overall, 11.5% for the last 7 days, 6.3% for the last 1 hour, and 40.2% when it comes to the XRP. Cardano is also making a huge run at 21.3%. And the rest of the market are all green. Yeah, there are only few that are on red, but basically almost all of the coins now are on green. This is a good day for cryptocurrency, and perhaps this is also in relation to MicroStrategies seminar that's going on right now that might last, I think, 2 or 3 days, discussing on and sharing their playbook. And then later on, Coinbase, Kraken, and all other platforms might actually share on how these institutions could utilize and maximize this technology. And as we, as a retail, we could also check and keep ourselves updated so that we will not be FOMO. Let's validate all this news. And remember, I'm not a financial advisor, so always do your own research. And what we have here is giving you inputs on what's really going on the market worldwide. So speaking of that, the DXY able to broke the 91 index, and it seems that it's continued to move up. So the possible resistance that we might see here is around the 92 range. Let's see if how strong is dollar, but fundamentally, I don't see this moving upward and break this resistance, because as we know, still there's no good news that might actually help dollars to push up. And when it comes to that, just like what we always say, if dollar will continue to go down, assets like Bitcoin will push and continue to grow as the storage value. So dollar, how it might play is it might actually find a resistance here and a possible pullback again on the 90 range before either tries to test again this resistance, and from there, let's see how the market will play, if it breaks this 92 resistance, or this will actually continue to push down dollar into the lower range. And previously, we could see here that the lowest that it took last 2018 is around the 88 range. Checking the Bitcoin charts, looks like it already completed the ABC of wave 4 for the Bitcoin chart. If this is completed, as we talked about last time, we had this 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we are targeting the 50,000 range, up to 55,000 range. But again, this might even go higher, depends on how strong is the market is. But right now, it looks like it was able now to complete this run, though it's still on the table, is what we would like to do. And let's see if the market will give that to us, this downward channel that might test again the 24,000 range up to the 20,000 range. This is what we would like to happen on the market for us to have a stronger bounce. But given what's going on, looks like this scenario's percentage is getting lower and lower. And with that, if this will continue, looks like we'll be testing again this 38,000, and then we might go run to 42,000 and continue to have our trend at the 55,000 range. I would like to share also this Wyckoff theory and analysis, and notice the similarity on how could be Bitcoin movement on during this sideways action and accumulation. So if you're going to guys to notice this support and resistance, on what's going on Bitcoin, this will actually might play out, and showing the similarity, you could clearly see here that we are able to define this support channel in reference to this Wyckoff accumulation theory. And then on the upper line, we could also notice here uh, this level of resistance. So if you will continue to check the similarity, it seems like we are now on the page D with this theory of Wyckoff. So looks like even though we would like to continue to fall down for us to accumulate more on the 24,000 range, I mentioned already that as what the market is giving us, looks like the ABC wave 4 is already completed, not unless we break this 28,800 support that might actually pull us back down to the 24 and 20,000 range. But right now looks like this Wyckoff is playing just like what the market is showing us. So try to consider this scenario basing on what we just discussed. If we already completed the ABC of wave 4, looks like this sideways action will continue, and finally we'll attempt to break this resistance here, do another test before or break up again to continue testing the previous high at 42,000 range. And as we mentioned, looks like if this will continue, our next target is going to be the 50,000 range to 55,000 range. We could even reach the 60,000 range depending on the strength of the market. But right now, looks like this is the scenario that's playing on, and what does the market is giving us. Let's continue to watch out for this market. Bitcoin and the rest of the altcoins are pumping. Be kept updated. Feel free to subscribe. This kind of analysis will actually only play with few hours. Make sure that once we upload new videos, you will be notified by hitting that bell icon and select all. Share this video, like it, so that the algorithm will help the community to grow more. I'd like to thank you everyone again for the support. Healthy Minds, this is Henry.
This is Healthy Minds reminding you that we are not financial advisors, so always do your own research.